commentary on OSBC TV. We have the third and the last guest platform on the program. And what we shall be discussing is the race for National Assembly leadership and ensuring equity. The National Assembly will be put in place any moment after the inauguration of the president, and things will begin to move. But as it were, Nigerians are eager. In fact, Nigerians are interested in who holds what position in the National Assembly. And Nigerians are interested in how the leadership of the National Assembly will emerge. And it has been featuring in a lot of discourse in this part of the country, in fact all over the country in the recent times. And we want to take us through the technicalities of the emergence of the leadership of the National Assembly. And our guide is Barrister Yomi or Baditon. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, who is qualified to head or to hold office as principal officers of the National Assembly?
Well, as long as you are elected and to now become a member of the National Assembly, the law is that you are qualified and that the selection will be done by co-members who will now elect one among them as the principal officers of the National Assembly. There have been people who felt the greenhorns, that means those who have just come in are not qualified. No, there's nothing like that in the law. Because in 1999, where are the non-greenhorns? They were all greenhorns. In 1979, where are the non-greenhorns? They were all, so it was one among them which will eventually be picked, maybe for reason best known to co-members, and then in fact even inserted the legislators that when the National Assembly shall meet, then they will nominate, and 2/3 of the members sitting will now elect them, one of them to become either the House of Reps Speaker or the Senate President. That is the position of them.
So there's no reason to say one is just coming in or anything like that.
Yeah, there's no reason. But you know, human being and the political factor has to be put into place. It's just like if you just engage me now, maybe to be working with you in OSBC. You hold the same qualification, but you hold the experience. You have been here before my arrival. That was, you know, remember I said when the first came, they were all green. But somebody has been there in the last 23 years. And I've just been elected. And I said, I'm going to be Senate President. As human being, you say, where is this one coming from? You know what we have gone through in this house. You know the sacrifice we have made. You know this and that. And then you also know that you have been with the party caucus, the elders of the party. You know who's who. So you know what you can do in case this young man who felt maybe he has money or he has a godfather somewhere. So these are some of the things that you are gradually seeing that's going to create a sort of thing. So politically, no, it's not easy for a newcomer. Let's be practical. Oshomole has just been voted in as a senator. And he's one of those people who are trying to be Senate President. In all human angle, he has been governor, he has been labor leader, but he has not been a senator. And somebody has been there in the last 24 years. And Oshomole and that person is going to compete. Even majority of them will not vote for Oshomole, no matter who is nominating him. So these are some of those factors that you're going to find, you know, as we proceed in this 10th National Assembly selection.
Politics is quite dynamic.
Yes.
And what makes you think nobody will vote Oshiomhole as Senate President? Because you see, people can change anytime and anything can change them.
Yes.
To make them change their minds towards a particular person to get to a particular post. What made you think most of them will not vote Oshiomhole to be the Senate President?
You know, I told you the human factor.
Okay.
That the fact that you have been in OSBC for years, and this young man just came in and now want to be my HOD. Here, You are going to run to anywhere. See this man. I knew when we are the one that put him through. So that is not. Then two, you see, political party is a recruitment center. As political party main job is to recruit you. And once the recruitment is done, they also have to look at the period you have been there, your loyalty to that party, the confidence they repose on you. So it's going to count on a day like this. So if they are going to do it, and then maybe for one reason or the other, they said Oshomole is whom the party. Because political parties also crisis managers. So in 2015, let's say from 2014, about 6 political parties came together to form to match the APC. Among those people that formed APC was the PDP, which was led by but with the success at the polls, they got the information that it's not likely to be the president. Most of the people came with the new PDP, nothing is on the ground for them. So they have to go into courts and some other people make some move and say, look, it's not going to work. Even though the party has its own candidate, because they felt that you have not given us, give to Caesar that which is Caesar, and to God which belongs to God. So they also went into business. So, and they, even before they went to me, for the despite what they agree. To appeal to these people. Belong to the party. Can the personal interest is not put into consideration with sensitivity. You have to be sensitive that look. Ethnic or other sectional group in that government or in any of its agency. So now let's assume that they said our candidate for the Senate president is Akpabio. The one for the House of Representatives is Tajudeen. Okay. So have you considered if Akpabio is a Christian? You have to be very, because they say other things you have to consider. The sensitivity of religion, because religion does not matter. It matters.
It matters.
This election, you can see the middle belt, the direction they went. You can see how it promotes to be, even in Lagos. So you have to take that into consideration. So, but most of the people who are now coming and said, look, the president can be Muslim, the vice president can be Muslim, and the Senate president can. No. This has to be put into words. And sometimes If the party failed to do that, other members could take the advantage and say, look, we told you before, you want to Islamize Nigeria. So got the thing, and said he will use the. Remember, I said politics is a game of emotion. Yes. He will raise that sentiment,
yes, and
then eventually they will say he has become enemy within. It's a rebellion. It's not rebellion. It's simply playing politics in another dimension.
Sir, you have explained it to the conviction of an average Nigerian, but most of the time, when parties come up with candidates, factors that you have mentioned are always playing against them.
Yes.
In this case, we have even seen aspirants for the position of the leadership of the National Assembly organizing a launching. It happened yesterday in Abuja.
Yes, I watched it.
And many things like that. It is now going to be election within the National Assembly, and it has been taken to an extent that one will not want to say what is more. My question now is, with the level things are going, or the level it has assumed, what is the future of democracy in this country?
Okay. Then let me start by from simple to the complex. Human beings by birth are generally selfish. As soon as a baby is born, he doesn't want to know whether the mother has eaten or not. All he wants something.
Yes.
If he's crying, this, and until he begin to grow up, even when he begin to grow up, when he's even overfed, he still want to grab the one with the mother. So this tendency, if the society does not correct it, if one grow up like that, some have developed that attitude that they don't want to care what happened to the next person. This is generally seen in political circle. If it's possible, some people want to be president and the Senate president.
And the ministers.
And the ministers.
Yes.
If it's possible.
At the same time.
So, and when you look around, and that's why people ask, they say, Nigeria doesn't have a law. Nigeria, this is now. Everybody knows. Even secondary school boys know there is Nigeria constitution. We have law. But because of the human tendency, because of the nature of man, of selfishness, that tendency will make us to ignore the law. I've just given you now, that's what we call federal character, even at the state level. And these people are launching, they are aware. They also know the sensitivity of certain sectors of the country, particularly the southeast, who are dictating that, look, you either allow us or we move out as a Biafran. But despite that one, that doesn't enter some of our political class. As far as they are concerned, this is their chance. Some people tell you, between now and so period, I'll be 70. So what am I still waiting for? It is either now or never. So when you consider all those things, you will realize that one of the issues affecting us, apart from selfishness, is this issue of ethnicity, this issue of religion. And we are not religion, we are not godly. Yes, if we are godly, how can somebody, just one person, 109 billion kilo of everything? At our age, our tastes are changing. Things you used to eat now, because all these things people like to buy, and you take it too much to toilet. What 20 years ago, it won't affect you.
Yes.
Because of it. So what is it that you want to use billion for? Somebody was in power about 2 years ago as a minister for power. He didn't perform, he was sacked. Only for the FCC to arrest him. 22.2 billion in the same place where country. So these are some of those elements you see. It's not because they don't do that while they are struggling. There's a professor, Claude Ake, he's a political economy. He said in Nigeria, in Africa, that politics is, especially when it's come to election, it's like war. They go for, you know fully well that once you get the power, political power, you also get the access to wealth. So this is the reason why it appears as if what's wrong? Why are you taking it to the level? Your party said that. Why don't you discuss with your party leader? Why launching? Even the days of we are talking about Sharaki, they did it clandestinely. They didn't allow people to see it openly. So when we look at this one, we begin to ask questions. Is democracy growing up? No. What do? We need to go back to the law. As we have law, every party has its own constitution.
Yes.
There are do's and don'ts. So, but in a situation where party even failed to normalcy, look at the G5. I didn't do it. Years ago, days of MPN and UPN, they will suspend them for openly disagreeing with the party. They can go to anywhere, and you can remember what happened between Omobori and Baba. You know the consequence and so to us, as if we have not learned our lesson, we are recycling the same problem, and it is time for us to now go back. Let every individual look at where did we go wrong. The Yoruba philosophy was that when a child falls down, he looks at the front. Yes. But when an elderly person falls, he looks at the back. What was the stumbling block? How do we take it so that another person will not fall on that place? So to me, we are at the same point. I'm not, this is the longest democratic process we have done.
Yes.
So it is now time for party to sit down and do what we call internal democracy. The internal democracy is very rare to come by.
Yes.
That's why they put it in the new act that they are going to conduct director in that. In those days, nobody cared about that. So you can use any method.
Yes.
And why you can remember when they picked Bola Ige and Baba. There was no law. Eventually, they come to serve under Bola Ige. So what are we talking about? Party until the party is able to come and do internal democracy and people are satisfied. But today we are celebrating Adeleke. But look back to PDP in Osun. Look at the factionalization. Look at the primary. Look at the consequence. Look at, even till today, I'm sure they can't speak as a voice. Let's look at APC. Why is it that APC could not sustain his own victory? Why is it that Adeboyega has to go? It is this internal democracy. But once we are able to get the internal democracy, and like you about to say, it is then that things normalcy will happen. But definitely, for sustaining us to today and no military intervention, I see that we will be able to correct as human beings. Every institution can be corrected. And if it doesn't correct, it will explode. After explosion, there goes to be another thing coming to form. So surely there's a hope as long as this democracy is allowed to continue. And before I round up, because I'm sure you want to pause me now, there's what we call institutional problem. Most of the institutions in the country are not allowed to function. And one of those areas where the party seems to be having problem is INEC. Their job that INEC need to do, they want to know, they want to your membership, they want to look at your annual returns. Maybe these are the things you contribute. So, but when the INEC is even afraid to talk to a ruling party, when INEC cannot carry out appropriately what you need to do because there's something somewhere, then that independence is questionable. So if we allow INEC to function properly, and then they will be able to do their job, call party to order where necessary, and things will eventually normalize.
Fún àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa láàrin ìṣẹ́jú péréte tá a dé, ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wọ́n ò ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin méjèèjì láìpẹ́ yìí. Àwọn èèyàn sì ti jáde láti du ipò aṣáájú ní àwọn ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin méjèèjì lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Barrister Yomi Ọbánìtàn ẹjẹ́ àwò kí ni ó máa ń fà á tó jẹ́ pé ìgbà tọ́rọ̀ bá a ti dìbò kan tó ní lódogun tó lágbára díẹ̀ a tó ti bọ́ sórí ìbí ìbáyìí ní ìsìnkú tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo àlà àdìbò àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ni ṣùgbọ́n ariwo tọ̀tẹ̀ yìí pọ̀ jù kí ló fà á.
Tá a bá wo ẹ̀dá adarí hun a jẹ́ ẹnìkan tó máa ń mọ ti ara ẹnìkan mọ́tara ẹnìkan yẹn máa ń fa ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan míì tí ò yẹ káriwó wà lórí ẹ̀ ẹ sì rí i pé ìmọ̀tara ẹnìkan kì í ṣe ebú ó dàbí pé wọ́n bí wa mọ̀ ni gbàrà tó máa ti bí ọmọ sílẹ̀ báyìí tó ké yẹ́yẹ́ kò fẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá ìyá wọn ti jẹun kò fẹ́ mọ̀ bóyá ara ìyá wọn ìyá ni tiẹ̀ ni pé mú wá àfàyẹlé so gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yẹn tí wọn ò bá bá wa nípa ẹ̀kọ́ àti ìtọ́jú tó wọ́n sọ pé ọmọ yóò lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní kọ́kọ́ ló bí ṣe báyìí tí wọ́n bá fi sí tó bá dàgbà mọ́ irú ẹ̀ lè máa rí tẹ́bá sì wá wọ àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ànìkànjọpọ́n kálára olóṣèlú ni tó yẹ pé ó ṣeé ṣe ni ẹlòmíín fẹ́ jẹ ààrẹ kó tún jẹ ẹni tí ó máa ṣe adarí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin tó bá ṣeé ṣe pàtó ṣe mínísítà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tí ò bá yẹ pé òfin sọ pé bàbá ẹni kọ́kọ́lẹ̀ wà ní ẹgbẹ́ yìí gbogbo owó nǹkan wọ̀nyẹn nígbà mẹ́ta tó wá wò náà àwọn tó tún jẹ́ pé àgbà nínú ẹgbẹ́ náà ran ẹgbẹ́ lọ́wọ́ nítorí pé ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà wọ́n máa ń pọ̀ síbi kan tẹ́ bá sì wá pọ̀ síbi kan wọ́n á pé ó máa ń já kí ẹgbẹ́ máa mọ nǹkan tí ó yẹ kó ṣe lásìkò tẹ́lómi bá sì wá ṣàkíyèsí pé mo mọ bàbá yẹn kò sí nǹkan tó máa dá sí irú ẹ̀ lẹ́rí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń fara nítorí pé tẹ́gbẹ́ bá sọ pé ibi là ń lọ ibi tá a gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé ní o táwọn kan sì wá ti gbọ́ pé tí wọ́n lọ sọ yẹn kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ o nítorí pé wọ́n pe kíní kan ní pé ẹgbẹ́ làgbà the supremacy of the party tẹ́gbẹ́ bá dẹ̀ ti sọ wọ́n sọ ni ẹni tí ò bá tẹ́ lọ́rùn á tún rò pé bóyá níjọ́ mi ọjọ́ rí so ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan wọ́n sì pé bóyá ẹ bá àwọn tó mọ̀ nǹkan nípa ètò òṣèlú ní apá ilẹ̀ káàrọ̀ jíire ní ẹni pé nígbà kan ẹgbẹ́ fa Bọ́lá Ìgè sílẹ̀ bó jẹ́ pé bàbá Aláyọ̀dé ni bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ fẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ẹgbẹ́ pọ̀ sẹ́yìn Bọ́lá Ìgè bàbá Aláyọ̀dé dẹ̀gbà ó tún nígbà tí Bọ́lá Ìgè di gómìnà ó tún wá ṣiṣẹ́ lábẹ́ ẹ̀ so bó ṣe yẹ kí ẹgbẹ́ rìn ṣùgbọ́n tí a bá sì wá wo ẹgbẹ́ yìí ká fi wó ti ìgbà bí 40 ọdún sẹ́yìn kò rí bákan náà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àṣìṣe tàbí àìlèṣe nǹkan dáadáa ló wà nínú àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tó wà lẹ́nu nítorí pé àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kí ẹgbẹ́ ṣe fún ìdí kan tàbí èkejì wọ́n lè má ṣe bóyá nítorí ọmọ bàbá lélẹ̀ àbí nítorí nǹkan míì tí àwọn tó ń darí ẹgbẹ́ máa gbé jáde gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí ló máa ń fà ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá sì wá ṣàkíyèsí náà àwọn nǹkan míì wà tó jẹ́ pé ó tún jọmọ́ òun ni òfin ẹ rí i pé nínú òfin ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà orí 14 ẹsẹ̀ 3 ó wá sọ fún wa wípé tí a bá fẹ́ pín ipò a gbọ́dọ̀ wò ó kárí pé ipò ní ọ̀pọ̀ sí apá kan láti ìpínlẹ̀ tó fi dé gbogbo Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ tàbá sì wá ń pín yóò kárí wípé a mú àwọn kinní kan ní àgbéyẹ̀wò bóyá ẹ̀yà ẹ̀sìn àbí nǹkan míì tó jọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó kò ní sẹ́ni tó sọ pé kọ̀ọ̀kan wá gbogbo àwọn tí ẹni tó ń pariwo àwọn náà mọ̀ wípé tábà ní ká gbé káàdì sílẹ̀ lẹ́nu ààrẹ mùsùlùmí igbákejì mùsùlùmí ẹ tí wọ́n á ní senate president ẹni tó wọ́n ní ó dà jẹ́ ká gbé fápá ní rárá o èyí náà ṣe kílẹ̀ rò pé àwọn tí ó kàn ẹ sì pé ètò ìdìbò tó lọ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn omi orílẹ̀-èdè ọ̀làkàtà ọlọ́run ló kàn fún wa ṣe so gbogbo nǹkan yẹn la gbọ́dọ̀ gbé yẹ̀wò kárí wípé ọ̀nà tá a fi ṣe kò ní ṣe èyí tí ó jẹ́ pé ó máa tún jẹ́ kí nǹkan máa gbóná sí i tá a bá lè wo gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí ní ìwòntúnwọ̀nsì ká fi òfin pẹ̀lú káwọn àwọn tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ olórí náà kó jẹ́ pé kì í ṣe bóyá wọ́n kàn wo wọn ò ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó ṣe yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe kí wọ́n hùwà àgbà tó sì jẹ́ kò sẹ́ni tí wọ́n rẹ́ jẹ ẹ̀ rí i pé gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń gbígbé kò ní bẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n kinní kan ni o tí ẹgbẹ́ bá sọ pé ẹni tá a fà á lẹ́nu tó bá wù yẹn ṣe nǹkan tó wù ó máa ń fa wàhálà ẹ̀ sì rí i pé ní ọdún 2014 ńgbà tí wọ́n APC fẹ́ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ló wá papọ̀ wọ́n sì sọ pé ó dáa báyìí ẹ bá dẹ̀ sí tí a bá ṣe agbẹ́jọ àbí ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ ó ṣàní nǹkan tí ẹ fún kálukú ìgbà tí àwọn Sàràkí wá rí pé àwọn dáa báyìí ẹ kò máa sí nǹkan tí ẹ ní fún àwọn náà bá dọ́gbọ́n rìn ẹ wá wọn a lè wá bí ká wá wò stadium kan lè wọ́n ṣe gba senate president ẹ sì pé títí ìjọba ọdún mẹ́rin yẹn fi lọ wọn ò gbọ́ra wọn yé tí ìjọba yóò bá fẹ́ ṣerú ẹ̀ wọ́n ní láti pe ìpàdé àpérò gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àwọn àgbàwọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ pé ẹ dákun ẹ má jẹ́ ó bàjẹ́ lórí wa báyìí báyìí ìdí tá a fi ní pé kí lágbájá wà ní ìdí tá a fi ní kí tàmẹ̀dó wà ní a sì gbọ́dọ̀ tún ṣàkíyèsí nígbà àwọn kan ti ń lu ìlú bí ò bá ṣeé ṣe àátù pàápàá ní ilẹ̀ Ìgbò lóòótọ́ wọ́n lè má dìbò fún ẹgbẹ́ yín ṣùgbọ́n tí ẹ bá kéèyàn wọn kéré ẹ wo ata lè kéré o ṣùgbọ́n tó bá dójú ó máa ń tàyàn so gbogbo eléyìí la gbọ́dọ̀ wò sí i nítorí pé tẹ́lẹ̀ pàápàá wọ́n ní àdúró mẹ́ta kìí dọ̀bẹ̀ nù ní Nàìjíríà dúró Yorùbá Haúsá àti Ìgbò ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan wá ń kígbe pé ẹran ti wà ẹ̀dẹ̀ ní kéré kékeré wa náà ẹ mọ̀ bí tá a kù sí o nígbà tí ẹ bá fi ti wa jà so gbogbo eléyìí ló yẹ kí ẹgbẹ́ gbéyẹ̀wò pé pàápàá àjẹgbà pé ààrẹ tí wọ́n ṣèdìbò yàn ẹni tó máa ń fa ọmọ ìgbẹ́ mọ́ra so à ń retí kó fa àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa tí wọ́n wà nílẹ̀ Ìgbò wọ́n fà mọ́ra àwọn tó sì jẹ́ olóṣèlú náà gbégbé tí wọ́n ti sọ pé àwa ló kàn káwọn náà tún yẹ̀ wò tí ìlú bá ń dún ládùn jù àyà ni nítorí náà wọ́n wò dáadáa kí ìlú bá lè tó.
We are grateful to Barrister Yomi Obatito for the scholarly enlightenment on the subject matter, the race for National Assembly leadership and ensuring equity. He has spoken in English, he has spoken in Yoruba, and has done justice to the topic. That is the convenient spot to draw curtains on that segment of Saturday morning treat. We want to specially thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you for the privilege.
We appreciate you, sir. We will now go to the last segment of the program. And
we are going to
sponsored by
commercial segments.
The commercial segment.
Sponsored by Living Above Poverty Organization, LAPO. And we'll be back after the program.
At LAPO are committed to poverty eradication. We equally believe that the battle against poverty requires the effort of everyone.
In LAPO, we believe that poor people can make a difference in their lives. We believe that people are the singular most important asset of any family, any society, any nation. And that if you invest in people, definitely the nation would be better for it as well.
Hello, you are welcome to Bridging the Gap, a program from Lift Above Poverty Organization LAPO. I'm Patience Nwanna. Thank you so much for taking our time to watch Bridging the Gap. On today's program, we are going to be talking about the postnatal care of the mother and the baby. You know that it's usually a joyful event when a woman gives birth to a baby she wants. Despite all the pains, despite the discomfort, there is joy, joy, joy. However, the birth of a baby is also a critical time. The birth period is a critical time for both the mother and the baby, and because a lot of things could actually go wrong. Problems may arise during this period, and if it is not well managed or adequately taken care of, it could lead to ill health for both the mother and the baby, or even deaths for both of them or even one of them. So on the program this morning, we are going to be looking at the postnatal care of the mother and the newborn baby. And to have the discussion with me this morning, I have Dr. Onamure Owagboy. Doctor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Dr. Owagboy is from the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. He is an ONG, and with him we'll be talking about this very critical issue of postnatal care, that's postpartum period for both the mother and the baby, what it means and the complications that could arise and how it could be managed. But before we continue, we are going to take the LAPO message. Please stay with us. Welcome back from Lapo Message. Please, we advise you to take this opportunity, utilize the opportunity that Lapo has provided to visit any of the centers for screening, for cancer screening, whether prostate cancer, breast cancer, or cervical cancer. You can have your screening done in any of these centers. Doctor, let me start by asking, what do we mean by postnatal care?
The postnatal period, let me start with the postnatal period.
Okay.
The postnatal period is the period, nearly 6 weeks following the delivery of the baby. That is 6 weeks period after the delivery of the baby is the postnatal period. And the care that is afforded to the mother and or the baby is known as the postnatal care.
Okay. So why is this period very important, the postnatal period?
The postnatal period is very important because this is the period where there is a shift from the pregnancy state to the postpartum period, as to the after the delivery period. There's a physiological change, and there are so many complications that can arise during this postnatal period or the postpartum period. And unfortunately, because attention shifts from the mother to the baby, these complications are easily missed, leading to maternal mortality and or morbidity.
Yeah. So how many checkups are recommended for a woman during this period?
When we talk about checkup, the postnatal period starts from the labor ward. Immediately the woman is delivered, the postnatal care starts. How? First, the maternal vital signs, the mother's vital signs, such as the blood pressure, the pulse rate, and you even check for the vagina just to be sure that there is no bruises and there is no bleeding. I'm sure we'll talk about the complications associated with the postnatal period later. Because the WHO initially even proposed that there should be a first stage of labor, which is the first 1 hour after the delivery of the baby, because most of the complications associated with the postnatal period usually occurs within the first 1 hour. And when they are missed, the adverse sequelae can be devastating. However, for the postnatal clinic is the clinic where you see the woman after discharge following the delivery of the baby. And this clinic is usually done at the sixth week post-delivery. If you take your mind back, we said the postnatal period is the immediate 6 weeks following the delivery of the baby. So after I see the 6th week, on the 6th week of delivery, we now want to be certain that the maternal physiology has returned back to the pre-pregnant state. That means to the state that the woman was before pregnancy. It usually takes about 6 weeks for the maternal physiology to return back to normal. And so the postnatal clinic is usually scheduled at the 6th week, and usually once. But before then, this check-up can be individualized. The woman that just goes to the labor ward, delivers and walks home, no complication. Mother is fine, baby is fine. Then you can see that patient at the 6th week. However, imagine a patient presenting with eclampsia. Even after discharge, the clinic schedule should not be 6th week. That patient should be seen earlier, most times weekly, until the patient is certified to be stable.
Okay, so let's look at some of the complications that may arise. You said from the first, from the day that the woman gives birth, we've started counting, that's the postnatal period. Okay, so let's look at some of the complications that could arise within, let's say, within 1 hour or so after delivery to the 6th week.
For the mother, the complications are diverse. This include eclampsia, or severe preeclampsia, hypertension in postpartum hypertension. This is a condition whereby the woman, all through her antenatal period, there was no blood pressure, no hypertension. Blood pressure was normal. But just suddenly after delivery, the blood pressure shows up. And we know that in most of our peripheral centers, or should I say most of the maternity homes, maybe the woman is delivered 1 or 2 hours after the woman is discharged home, without checking the normal routine vital signs. And if it is missed, the end product of this mild pregnancy-induced hypertension or mild preeclampsia is the eclampsia. It's usually associated with severe hypertension. There's protein leaking in the urine, and sometimes the patient starts convulsing. These are so many other complications, such as bleeding from all different parts of the body, which we call disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, can affect the liver, can affect the kidneys. That is why we keep stressing the fact that the delivery, the care of the woman, or the pregnant woman, does not end till the 6th week. And even after the 6th week, if the complications still persist, this patient should be referred to other specialists, like those that are still hypertensive can be referred to the cardiologist. The other complications associated with the postpartum period include postpartum hemorrhage. This can be primary or secondary. We say it's primary when the woman starts bleeding after delivery. But if the woman does not start bleeding immediately after delivery, but there is resumed bleeding after a day of delivery, that we call secondary postpartum hemorrhage. And unfortunately for us, this accounts for the highest number of maternal deaths in this part of the world.
Okay, so can we go further to look at on the side of the baby? Some babies are born and you see that they come up with a lot of maybe disabilities and all that. What could be the cause of this?
The major problem associated with neonatal disabilities in the postpartum period is poor care during the labor process. If the labor is prolonged, it causes unnecessary stress to the baby, leading to what we call fetal distress. And when the baby is born flat, what we call beta asphyxia. And this usually manifests later in life with poor neurodevelopmental process, such that the baby is not able to achieve developmental milestones at the right age. Imagine a baby of 1 year cannot sit, or a baby that is already 2 years cannot utter a word. These are some of the complications associated with, and this condition is known as cerebral palsy. It's usually a complication of the labor process. If we take our mind back, you find out that in this part of the world we have this phobia for surgeries, whereby you tell a woman that you're supposed to have cesarean section and they shy away from it. A woman that is scheduled for an elective cesarean section, probably because the baby is big or too big, or the maternal pelvis cannot accommodate that baby, they run away from that clinic and go to some maternity home. And after the labor has been so prolonged and the baby has been so stressed, they may eventually see end up having a cesarean section. But at the end of the day, the end product of this labor process, which is the baby, develops the unnecessary disabilities.
Some time ago, a woman was sharing that she was in labor and the doctor, she was not having pains, she was not feeling any pain, and the doctor was telling her that you cannot give birth without pain, that you are not yet ready. You understand that you are not ready to give birth yet, madam, just wait and all that. So she waited. So she was feeling it, she was feeling that, she was not, it was her first pregnancy, but nobody was attending to her because she was not screaming at the top of her voice and all that. And eventually when they came to take the birth of the baby turned out to be to have some of this I think cerebral palsy that you talked about. So people were now like blaming the mother that why didn't you shout and why didn't you cry like other women in the labor ward were doing. So I don't know, what do you think would have been the problem? Was it that the woman stayed too long before being attended to, before the birth was taken, or what?
It is possible that that woman had prolonged labor, and we tell the labor process is prolonged if active phase labor. That means when the woman is 4 centimeters dilated, the cervix of the woman is 4 cm dilated, to the delivery of the baby should not last more than 12 hours. it shouldn't last more than 12 hours. And the effective contractions is not necessarily determined by the woman shouting. Our pain threshold differs from one person to the other. For minor pain, one person can scream, while for severe pain, some people have a very high threshold for pain. They can bear pain very well. So you don't use the pain, the shouting of the woman to judge contractions. Contraction is best estimated by palpation. You palpate the uterus. Though you said the doctor, you'll be surprised that unfortunately is that when things go wrong, our friends and relations patronize some of these quacks. They are not bold enough to mention where they go to. Instead, they ascribe it to one doctor or the other. When you ask them, oh, we went to one hospital, what is the name of the hospital? We don't know. So it's possible this pregnancy, that labor process was prolonged, baby was distressed, and baby was eventually delivered with very poor ABGA score. And that is what led to the best asphyxia, which was also not properly managed, thereby leading to cerebral palsy later in childhood.
Yes, some people say that in some of these hospitals that they want to make money, so, or rather some women feel that in some of these hospitals they want to make money, that's why before you know it they say CS, come for CS. So a lot of women, the fear is there, the anxiety is there, and also the issue of money is there. So some women are of the opinion that the doctors, or rather the hospitals, they are interested in making money, that their conditions have not gotten to that stage where they will be asked to go for CS. What's your opinion on this?
Well, I think for any health professional that has been trained to proficiency, the priority of your practice should be the welfare and health of your patients. So nobody in his sane mind will unnecessarily ask for cesarean section, except that person just want to be wicked. The problem we have with our health sector, for me, primarily, is our mode of payment for health services. In Nigeria, over 90% of Nigerians still do out-of-pocket payments, whereby you go to the hospital and you have to pay directly to the hospital. If we have a robust health insurance scheme, whereby you just go to the hospital, you have this insurance whereby you pay just 1,000 or 2,000 every month, and when you go to the hospital, you access health care. You will not be having this problem of money or no money. And that is why we are still having very poor health-seeking behavior of most of our populace. If the government can expand the NHIS to cover even for the non-formal sector of the population, most of these complaints will not be there. If you look at the financial capacity of an average Nigerian, it's very poor. So that's why they shy away from some of this procedure, because they know that the normal delivery is quite cheaper than having a cesarean section, and they now ascribe the blame to the doctors or the health practitioner as wanting money. No right thinking health practitioner will just take you to surgery, because the surgery is only associated with even more complications than the normal delivery. So there must be a reason for you to advise the patient to go for a cesarean section.
Okay, let's take a break here to bring you the faces of LAPO, and when we come back we'll continue. Please stay with us.
My name is Song by name. I'm from Akwa Ibom. I dey sell okrika with rice. I don't pay for LAPO. Wetin make I join LAPO be say I been go beg person money, make him help me, might take hard put for my business. When I tell am finish, the person laugh me. He no give me the money, carry me dey laugh, say I dey beg. So now one of my friends come carry me go LAPO. Tell me say I get place where I fit go collect money, take hard for my business. Now I can't go LAPO. Can't go mix them. They can't give me the money. As they give me, they take am, change my life, come make my business dey big. Before, To even eat hard. But as I can't join this lapo, things can't be good for me. He had my life, he had things for my life. Even my children's school fees, I dey pay, I dey eat well, I dey shine. So lapo good for me. Keke, where I get now, lapo don't give me keke. Now lapo give me. This my shop, I don't get shop where I built. Now lapo. Even this land where I get, now part of lapo money. So lapo don't do well for me. I say, may God bless me. When you go and collect this lapo money, now to take and use hard for small business we been they do, so that it will help you grow for your business. Not be to carry the money, chop, that to take and put for business. When you put them for business, it go better for you. So women, why I don't tell, then they come, and today it better for them. Lapo don't change my life, change my story. May God bless Lapo. May they continue to they do like this till the next generation. May God bless them.
Welcome back from Faces of Lapo. For entrepreneurs who want to do business with Lapo Microfinance Bank, you are very, very free to do that. Please just call the numbers on the screen and you will be attended to. Okay, doctor, let's continue with our discussion. What do newborn babies, what do they need during this the period of the postpartum period?
Newborn babies need a lot of care and affection from both mothers, the mother and the father. But more importantly is exclusive breastfeeding, especially in the first 6 months of life. Also, they also need some material things, clothes, cords, and the other. Then, that's optimal immunization, because we have childhood killer diseases, and we have vaccines to prevent this. Immunization at the right time, starting from birth, BCG, the oral polio vaccine, the hepatitis B vaccine, and others. If the newborns can have this along with adequate nutrition, and in the first 6 months of life, we emphasize again exclusive breastfeeding. And if the newborn can get this along with love, care, and affection from every one of us, I'm sure they will do very well.
All right, finally, what is your advice to new mothers?
Our advice to new mothers is that the postpartum period and even the neonatal and infancy period is a stressful time for them, because most times they now have to adjust their life to the care of themselves, their husband, and now an additional person, which is the newborn. If for mothers that are experienced, they will notice that most babies feed more at night than during the day. And if my wife decides to give me the baby at night and the baby is crying, I can only cuddle my baby, but I can't feed the baby because I'm not lactating. So most times these mothers end up not sleeping well at night because the baby feed more at night. Then during the day, when these babies now take their rest, they sleep more during the day than at night. The mothers, instead of them to be resting, are busy with house chores or receiving visitors or doing one or two things, and at the end of the day they are stressed out. So mothers should now learn to adjust their time to suit that of the baby, recognizing the fact that there's a new landlord in the house, and their time factor must not be tailored to that of the baby.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for coming on the program. So what you're saying in essence is that the woman needs the care from her family members at this point, at this time, and the woman should also rest.
Exactly.
She should take her time.
Also support from the husband.
Okay, yeah, support from the husband and every other person.
Every other person.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm sure our new moms and even our fathers have learned a lot from this program today on postnatal care of mothers and the newborn babies. This period, the postpartum, you call it the postpartum period, medically. All right. So this period, the postnatal period or the postpartum period, is very, very critical in the lives of mothers and their newborn babies. And everyone should be able to help the mother. And mothers also need proper rest. They need nutrition. They need vaginal care. They need family support at this time. It might be that the baby is even the 10th child in the family. It doesn't make it right for the mother to be left alone to manage the baby on her own. This is her 10th child, so she is already used to it. There is no getting used to when it comes to childbirth. And also, if the baby is not the preferred sex, maybe you want a male or you want a female, and you didn't get it, you got a female. Because I've also seen situations where a woman was abandoned at the hospital because the baby was her 5th female child. The husband abandoned her in the hospital. It only took friends and well-wishers to get the woman and her baby home. So even if the baby is not the preferred sex, a woman and her newborn baby should not be abandoned in the hospital. And for you that you're a new mom, never neglect your postnatal care or postnatal appointment with your doctor. It is very, very important. Thank you so much for watching this program, Bridging the Gap. Bridge the Gap, as we said earlier, is brought to you from Lift Above Poverty Organization, LAPO. And we will be very, very happy to hear from you. You can send us your comments and contributions through the social media, or you can call our numbers. You can also visit any of our offices or our corporate head office at number 18 Downstream Road, Benin City. Till we come your way again.